Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's great to be here. We're finally able to have this event that we've been trying to have for 2 years now. So welcome, everyone. Welcome back, I should say. The last time we were here was January of 2020. So here we are again in person, thankfully. First, I'd like to say thank you for being here. I'd like to thank our underwriter for today's event, which is BreezeLine, and introduce Al Johnson from BreezeLine to say a few words.
Good morning, everybody. I asked marketing to put together a little blurb for me, and fortunately, Laura gave me 5 minutes because they blurbed it up. So, good morning, everybody. I'm Al Johnson, Senior Commercial Service Account Executive for BreezeLine. I'm pleased to be with you all today, and I want to thank you all for joining us. BreezeLine is proud to sponsor today's event. For those of you who don't know, Atlantic Broadband took on a new brand name in January, BreezeLine. With the major acquisition of broadband properties in Ohio and other expansion initiatives now underway, including here in New Hampshire, our brand better represents our geographic reach beyond the eastern seaboard, the breadth of our product line. We're much more than broadband, and a pledge to deliver superior customer experience. To do this, we've launched a new customer app, which puts more control in the hands of our customers than ever before. In our new markets, we've also launched BreezeLine Stream TV. Tell you a secret, it's coming here too. A new cloud-based video platform that allows customers to view their favorite shows on any device inside and outside the home. We've also launched fiber to the premises with symmetrical internet speeds up to 1 gig for residential customers and up to 10 gigs for business customers, as well as a Wi-Fi Your Way for business, a new managed Wi-Fi solution for our clients and patrons. We've also improved our hosted voice platform, a new cloud-based phone solution for our business clients. At the same time, we're continuing to invest millions of dollars each year in our network infrastructure and more than $30 million in capital expenditures last year alone to ensure the highest degrees of reliability and performance. That's because we know our residential and business customers depend on connectivity each and every day. And for those families who are struggling financially, we're providing a new 100 meg internet package at no cost through the Affordable Connectivity Program to facilitate distance learning and work from home. As we launch these product enhancements and customer care initiatives, we're doing our part to operate in a way that is good for the environment with an ongoing commitment to sustainable operations. We've begun to deploy electric vehicles, a key step in our commitment to reduce our operational emissions and achieve net zero emissions by 2050. We use power purchase agreements to generate renewable energy and reduce electricity emissions, as we hope to obtain 100% of our energy consumption from renewable sources by 2030. We're also working to reduce the environmental impact of equipment used in the customer homes and in our business locations. Finally, while the company's geographic reach has expanded in recent years, we remain firmly committed to our local communities, including Rochester, giving back through the support of community causes, the payment of millions of dollars each year in franchise fees to New Hampshire communities by employing more than 200 local men and women here in the area, and by providing $1.5 million a year in community support and complementary services here in New Hampshire. We consider it an honor and privilege to be a part of this community and to serve residential and business customers each day. That's why I'm delighted to be here with you today, and I thank you again for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan, and thank you to BreezeLine for their support. Next, I want to thank Frisbee Memorial Hospital, who is hosting us today and has provided this wonderful breakfast for everyone this morning. So thank you to them. And for those of you who have not had the opportunity yet to meet the new CEO at Frisbee, I'd like to introduce Timothy Jones. Prior to coming to Frisbee, Tim was the CEO of Encompass Health in Spring Hill, Florida. Tim has served in roles including Chief Operating Officer and Senior Vice President of Concord Hospital in Concord, New Hampshire, and as CEO of Northern Berkshire Healthcare in North Adams, Massachusetts. He started his healthcare career as a radiation therapist. Tim has a track record for proactively leading organizations through current and anticipated challenges. He understands the importance of building a strong culture and delivering on exceptional employee, physician, and patient engagement. He has also demonstrated the ability to build strong relationships, to collaboratively grow service lines, and accelerate organizational performance. So please welcome Tim Jones.
I think it's awesome. First and foremost, Danny. I'll brag just a little bit. Everything is fresh. We make all our food fresh, right, Marcello? Everything is fresh. Danny and the team probably arrived at 4 o'clock this morning just to make sure everything was ready. So they do an amazing job, and I just wanted to recognize them. So thank you very much. Officially, I want to welcome you all on behalf of HCA and Frisbee Hospital. It's great to see everybody here. I want to walk you through just a few things. Sort of a small state of what's happening in our organization. I think there's a lot of positive things happening, and we're excited. We are rebuilding the organization moving forward, and that will take some time. But I think the things that we're doing. Can you guys everybody hear me? Are you okay? Usually, if I need to speak up, I can use my coach's voice and yell louder. So let's go through the presentation. A few slides, mostly images, that will be helpful. Investment continues here. One of the things I will say, the power of HCA, and I'm new to HCA, so I'm not, I haven't been with them a long time, about 7 months now. But I'm very impressed. I've been on the for-profit side and the non-profit side of my career over the last 40 years or so. And as Laura said, I've had different opportunities. The strength of HCA is significant in that it can bring a tremendous amount of talent to the organization across the country. And here's the thing that was really fascinating, but for those of you who work in big organizations or have been a part of it, everyone is really willing to help. It's literally a phone call away when you need help. And as an example, Debbie Cox is our VP of HR. We had our VP of HR resign for personal reasons. Within 2 weeks, Debbie came from Texas to help support us through the transition and hit the ground running and moving things forward. I also want to introduce Jamie, who's our CNO. She's all in white today, and I'm remiss in not announcing first and foremost the most important day of the year in healthcare is Nurses Day today. So I'd like to call impersonation without the cap. But today, most of our nurses and our leadership team are trying to wear white. I wore a white shirt. I don't have a white suit, so it's that. And then Rebecca Lorraine is the executive assistant who helped put all this together today. So thank you. Okay, Rebecca, let's go to the next slide. So just a quick update on primary care, because I know about a year ago or so, this was really a very dramatic event in the community, and as well it should be. I think what my message is that we're on the rebuild. We have 5 practices. What you see behind me are the providers at each of those practices. Here's what we need today. I need 1 more primary care doctor, who we've interviewed 2 more docs this month. We will probably make an offer soon, and 1 more advanced provider. And then those practices will be where they need to be. Now, there are some pictures that are missing because folks haven't started. So in Barrington, there's another provider coming who's graduating from our GME program out of Portsmouth Hospital and will be embedded into the Barrington community. And she's coming out of residency. She'll be a new doc. She'll be starting this summer. We also have another advanced provider at the Rochester Hill practice, so there are actually 3 advanced providers and 2 primary care physicians. The message is we're open. We are accepting new patients. We want people to come back. We want to have the opportunity to rebuild those relationships in the community. And here's how I presented it to people out in the community. If you can't get in, just call my office. Because the message is just say yes from our perspective. In the first quarter of this year, January to March, to the end of March, we saw 900 new patients in our primary care practices across the practices. So we are coming back. They're great providers. They care about the community, and we're committed to that. So just so you know, from a primary care perspective, we're not all the way there, but we're 90% of the way there. We also have a plan to grow the practices as needed. So when practices get to a place where we say, hey, we probably should add another provider there, we're going to add another provider. So we're truly committed to this. It is really the linchpin of our organization, primary care, super important. Not only for you, but also as us as a hospital. If we don't have a hospital here, we need to have primary care. We need to have solid primary care and still be that. That has been our number 1 priority. My number 1 priority for the first 7 months is to bring stability to primary care. We're almost all the way there. So we're making progress. The second priority was to rebuild general surgery. So this is a little bit of a different story in that we've had physicians retire. So John Britton was a general surgeon here. Some of you may know him. He was a general surgeon for 30 years. He assumed that practice from his father, who was a physician here for 40 years. So 70 years the Brittons have been providing general surgical care. John has retired. He has committed to stay on board PRN, which means he's still in the community. He's still working with our new folks. Bill Morgan, we were able to recruit from Wisconsin. He's mid-career surgeon. He does all general surgeries. He's got a lot of skill, a lot of talent. We're super excited to have him. Here's something to know. We had 10 general surgeons apply for 2 jobs. So we interviewed 10 general surgeons for 2 jobs. So we were able to be very picky about who we chose. And our commitment to the community was this. Clinically, we had to have exceptional skill. So I don't get to evaluate the clinical skill, but we have physicians and others who are participating in those interviews, and they're evaluating, is this the right person for us clinically? The second thing we evaluate is, are they a cultural fit? Not only for the organization, but the community. And one of the things that we've not sold, but we communicated to these new general surgeons is, this is a very loyal community if they understand that you care about them. If you care about them, you will see their cousins, their uncles, their aunts. They'll wrap their arms around you just like they did the Britons, and you'll be their surgeon. So Bill Morgan absolutely understood that. He came from a small community in Wisconsin. He's ready to come here and help us rebuild our programs here. So he was very excited. Courtney is coming out of unbelievable fellowships. Her skill set is amazing. She's a new general surgeon. She's going to partner with Bill. She comes to the Cleveland Clinic. For those of you who don't know the Cleveland Clinic, it's a world-renowned organization. She has fellowship there. She's amazing. She's a Harvard grad. So again, but she was a really fit for this organization, this community. She's a native New Hampshire. She wanted to come home. So we're on the right pathway there. Tim Moore is still working with us. John Britton is still working with us. And Tom Moore and Tim Sherry is still working with us. So they're doing support work. They're very excited to help Courtney get where she needs to be from a physician perspective. Very talented, but new physician needs that kind of support. So general surgery, we're really excited about what we're able to support the community with today. Some of you may have already seen these folks, Advanced Orthopedics. Right now they're in 3 locations. We're trying to consolidate that. They're in Guilford, New Hampshire. That's where their practice was built originally. And they're in Barrington, and we're trying to get in White Mountain, so they're kind of all over the place right now. We want to move them from, keep them in Guilford and have an office here at Skyhaven in Rochester, and we're redesigning designing a space for them. So they'll have 2 locations for their practice. We saw 197 new patients this past month. They're ramping up. It's been less than a year that they've been here, but they have a lot of skill. One piece missing here is we need a joint surgeon. So we interviewed a joint surgeon this week. We're moving forward through that process, and we hopefully can bring that to the community from that perspective. But they cover sports medicine, hands, spine. It's a very comprehensive group, and they're great clinicians. So orthopedics is on the right path from that perspective. We do have a bariatric clinic. We do not do the bariatric surgery here because we are using our partner at Portsmouth to help us do that. So we have that capability. Dr. Benedetto is a great surgeon, but it's a collaboration. And one of the things that you'll hear in the future that I'll talk more about over time is our collaboration and the strength of HCAs that we can collaborate. We don't have to duplicate every service here at Frisbee. We can use our partners across the market to help us do that. So we don't have to duplicate every service, but we certainly can get you the care that you need. And that organization at Portsmouth there's really some things that are very special. Their cardiac program is really world class. Their neurosurgical program is really world class. We're doing things down there that only 5 or 6 hospitals across the country are doing. So we have a really strong partnership there and a relationship, and they're supporting us in many ways with the clinical expertise. Finally, we've opened a new women's services here. This was a great win for the community. 3D mammography, state-of-the-art technology. We have bone density. We have ultrasound there. We can move women through the process very quickly. In fact, we're doing a lot of diagnostic procedures because others in the community are so backlogged in the diagnostic procedure perspective from a breast imaging that we're able to get patients in very quickly. So it's a beautiful new center. I don't think we have any more pictures of the center, but it's a beautiful new center. It's right on the main floor of the hospital. As you come in, it's upstairs, one flight, but it's amazing. Again, the power of investment from a capital perspective that HCA is able to support the community with. We're super excited about this program. We're transitioning our outpatient geriatric program to a partial hospital program. And I want to be clear, the partial, and this is confusing for folks, the partial hospital program is an outpatient program. So we're just expanding our capability in this. This is actually going to serve the community in a much broader way and meet the needs of many more folks in the community. It's going to help decompress the emergency department in terms of people being, sitting in the EDs for days on end or weeks on end. I mean, we have patients boarding that it's really not fair to the patient or the organization. We'll be able to refer these folks to the partial hospital program. And essentially, the partial hospital program is, again, an outpatient program. The patients get referred to the program. They come 12 to 14 days on average. They have intensive therapy during the day. They have group sessions. They have one-on-one sessions. It's a much better program. It reaches more people than just the outpatient geriatric program. And those folks can slide into that program as well. So there are some differences, but the primary difference is we're going to be able to serve a lot more than need in the community, which we're super excited about. It opens next week. We already have patients scheduled, so we're excited about the opportunity there to serve that need in the community. The other thing you might hear or see about behavioral health out in the world is, or in the news, is HCA is interested in partnering with the state of New Hampshire to build a behavioral health hospital. That's working its way through the political system. We're hoping that gets through, but we would be a major investor in terms of doing that on behalf of and partnering with the state. So that would be an amazing accomplishment. So Dr. Weathers is awesome. People are going to love him. He's a super nice person, but he's also a great clinician. So he comes again out of Portsmouth, so he's coming up here to help us with this program. This is the new behavioral health site in the ED. It should have been open months ago, but due to supply chain issues with COVID, we're waiting for specific doors. They have to be site-safe doors. We have all but 2 of them. If we had the doors, we could have opened a couple months ago. This is a much healthier environment for our behavioral health patients who can spend, Jamie, how much time? Weeks, sometimes months in waiting to get transferred to a behavioral health hospital or another care setting. But it's a beautiful environment. There's a lot of outside light, windows in every room, which again, all has to be site safe. So, it's a sophisticated process, but beautiful rooms. We're excited to open it. We're projecting by the end of this month we should have this open and available for patients, and we really want this to happen. The doors, I'm told we're supposed to be here today, but I'm told that every Monday, every Friday I check and they're not there. So I'll go back down there today to see if they're there, but we'll find out. These are just some of the safety initiatives that we continue to work on. We a company that an independent company we operate for the second year in a row, which is really good. They come in and evaluate how safe is the organization from both a clinical perspective and other perspectives. So we're proud of that. We also are we're joint commission. We're waiting for a visit. It should be coming soon, and that's a big deal for the organization. I know we'll pass it along how we're always ready to go. You have to be. So these are just a couple of examples, and then next slide. And then just a number out there to show the commitment. Over $32 million has been spent in capital infusion in the organization. So I know there's all kinds of rumors out there. If you hear them, let me know. I'd like to know what those are. But I also will tell you that we are going to be a community hospital. We're going to add services. We might change some services like we did with the outpatient geriatric program. We're advancing it and we think improving it for the community and meeting a much broader need. But we are going to be a community hospital. We need your support. Right? We need people to use the hospital and see our primary care doctors. But HCA will tell you is committed to this community. And I will share with you just this is a personal editorial, so this is not about HCA. I've worked on both sides, and I've worked for-profits in the past. And most for-profits don't invest in their communities. They will sell you that, they will come in, and they will flip it from you. They will come in, they'll strip it down, they'll make it look good on paper, and then they'll sell it to the next for-profit. In fact, HCA is buying, I'm sure some of you have heard Stewart Hospital out of Massachusetts. They're buying 6 of those hospitals in Utah because Stewart's trying to fill them. HCA goes into a community, by and large, stay in the community. They very rarely do they sell hospitals. They invest in the community. In this community, over the last 2 years, they've invested, including the purchase price, over $100 million. So they're not closing it. It's not going to be, a behavioral health hospital. We'll have behavioral health services. It's going to be a community hospital. It may not be everything. It may not be able to meet every single need out there from a healthcare perspective, but that's the power of having a system in a hospital like Portsmouth that pretty much is like a Boston hospital. And you go down to Boston. So I'm happy to entertain any questions or concerns that people might have. If you can't get into our practices, I need to know. Call Rebecca. We will make it happen. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Tim, and very exciting what we hear about Frisbee and all the investment going on and the wonderful doctors and services that we're getting here. It's very exciting, so thank you for your leadership.
You're welcome, thank you.
Okay, I brought my water with me because I've got a lot to talk about over the past 2 years. Try and see which slides are up. I got my paper ones with me too, Tanya. So thank you. I don't know if all of you know Tanya Hervey, who's the office manager and does all the events and communications of the office. She's a busy lady. Thank you, Tanya, for all you do. And before I start, Tanya, come on up.
Thank you for carrying these in for me this morning.
I lied to you. Sorry. But anyway, someone's got my phone. Oh, thanks, Harrison. Thank you. Thank you, Tanya, for all you do. It starts with your staff, and if you have good staff, you can do pretty much anything. And that's what we're going to talk about today, and what's been going on since 2020. First of all, we have our mission.
All of you should know is to advance and promote the general welfare and prosperity of our members and to enhance the quality of life in the area. Our service area at the Chamber includes those to the north and west of us and to the east of us, as you can see up on the screen. And thank you to Tim Kremen from Kremen Creative, who's here today to tape this for us, and so that we can then broadcast it to our members. So thank you, Tim, and thank you for bringing this on.
Okay, our fearless leader from the last 2 years, Al Johnson, who we were so happy to work with. Alan brought so much humor to us during the past 2 years, which really got us, through everything we needed to do. And we'll be hearing from Alan shortly, too, to provide some information on the past 2 years. And thank you, Alan, for serving 2 years. I know you weren't planning on that, but, and we'll talk about that in a little bit as well. Kudos to our board of directors, because when the pandemic hit and businesses were closing and closed, we really weren't able to get out there and do the things that the Chamber normally does, which is bringing people together. So our board had done an emergency addendum at the end of 2020 to be able to have anyone on the board that wanted to do another year, an extra year, could do that, because they obviously weren't getting their full year's worth of being part of the board and getting out there and meeting with members during the pandemic. So everyone other than one that was retiring anyway, everybody stayed on. Everyone did a do-over. The officers stayed in place. So thank you and congratulations to our board for doing that, and please give them a round of applause for staying on and supporting the organization. Our staff, which we had 3 back in 2020. There was myself and Kaylin Bamford, who was the events coordinator at the time, who did a great job. And as I said earlier, it's great when you have good staff, because we certainly had a lot to do once the pandemic hit to be able to get the word out to businesses. And Tanya, we unfortunately lost for a few months in the beginning there, because when the schools closed, she had to be home to be a mom and help her son through the remote process and everything else that was going on. But she was back by summer, and thank you, Tanya, for coming back. The only event that we actually really got to hold at the beginning of 2020 was our annual meeting. So that was back in January, and that was when the torch was passed from Ann Brown to Alan. And little did Alan know what he was getting into at that point in time. Because then, of course, the pandemic hit, and the Chamber went into action to make sure that businesses were getting informed about the various resources that were out there. I mean, we were working with we started to meet with the governor on a weekly basis, and then that transformed into meeting with the Commissioner of Business and Economic Affairs in the state, which we're still doing, not on a weekly basis anymore, but twice a month. So we were able to, relay to that, all the elected officials, whether it was working with the city, which Blaine and the mayor and Jen and economic development were great to work with, talking about whether we were talking about outdoor dining or some loans that were being provided from the city to businesses that were in desperate need at that point. We also were, talking with our restaurants and making sure that we were providing feedback to all our city officials, state officials, so that people knew what was actually going on the street. We created very quickly, and we had just in December, January, we were just launching a new website, and we were still learning how to use that new site when the pandemic hit, and we all of a sudden needed to get some pages and information up there. So very quickly, we learned how to actually use that new website. But we did put a web page up on COVID-19, which provided a lot of information to businesses on resources available, funding sources, tax credits, et cetera. We also took the opportunity, since we weren't going to be able to do events that we normally do, we provided some pages on our website, one of them being, and if you haven't seen it, it's a great page, on things to do. And actually, Kaylin, who was working in the office at the time, got all the information together, that what goes on in the city, speaking with various departments, and put up a really nice site on whether arts, recreation, sports, different things that go on. So if you get a chance, take a look at the website on the Things to Do page. There's an awful lot to do in Rochester. Our business programs, we had one that was in person, which was the Labor Laws for Business breakfast, and then everything else became remote. And thanks to Atlantic Broadband, who's now Breezeline, they had stepped up to sponsor what we called Community Different that year. A lot of people weren't at their businesses, so rather than go out there and knock on doors during a pandemic, they did a 3-day phone/email campaign, and at the time we were working with the state to try and do a survey to get information from businesses. So they helped with, in addition to thanking members for their support and finding out how they were doing, they also did a survey with them as well. Our holiday events ended up being a little bit different. We didn't invite the public to the tree lighting, but we did notify them that we were going to be live streaming it. Again, thank you, Tim. So we were able to still do the ceremony and live stream it on our Facebook page so that everyone could still enjoy the tree lighting that took place in downtown Rochester. Our parade we did not do. That the parade brings a lot of people together, and during a pandemic we just didn't feel that was going to be a safe thing to do. So we did something a little different. The committee came up with the idea of doing a Light Up Rochester event, and we invited businesses and residents in Rochester to light up their houses, put up decorations, and send us pictures and or video, which they did. And then we basically put a whole video together of all of those pictures and video, and we're able to play that on our Facebook page and on our website, so that at least we had some kind of holiday event. And basically they were put into a contest, so those that participated would either get a first, second, or third place prize as well. So ended up being a lot of fun for doing something a little bit different. Our community information center pretty much was closed during that time. We ended up doing some renovations in there. As you can see over on the right there, we put in a window next to our door that goes into the office, where if somebody came in to get some information in the hallway, we could let them in and then talk with them through the window. Our website, again, as we got towards the end of 2020, we were doing things like Back to Business and had a nice resource packet for businesses to be able to use, as well as, again, keeping them updated on the various state of emergencies or different things going on, and all the information that we were getting from the state and the federal government. Thankfully, or unthankfully at the time, we were a little bit worried because 501c6 organizations, which are what chambers are, were not eligible for any of the federal funding that was coming down the pike.
watching all the they had a nonprofit fund, they had a Main Street fund, and, we still weren't able to do anything with that. So, and thankfully with the relationship that we had, and in speaking with the governor's office and the New Hampshire Business and Economic Affairs office, we partnered with them regionally, and each region had to get together and do specific projects around COVID for the state. And thankfully, because the Seacoast Chambers have had a relationship and have worked on projects together for many years, since probably the 1990s, we worked well together to develop some posters, develop a web page for the Seacoast, and do the surveys, as I mentioned earlier, help with getting the information out on various funding programs. So that brought the chamber, the region ended up getting about $300,000, and the chamber ended up benefiting by that by about $47,000. So that really helped with helping to maintain our staff at the time, because we weren't eligible for the PPP until 2021. So that was a huge help. And anything that we did, that we did that year too, and it's, really good that we have such, good collaboration. Actually, you go to the next one. Nope, I think back a couple. Maybe it's not there. It'll come up. Anyways, we had some great collaboration with a number of organizations, from the city to the hospital to economic development, the state, a lot of the federal legislators. They went to bat for us when we needed it, and when it came to the next, I think it was the HEROES Act in 2021 that came out, chambers were then eligible for the PPP to be able to at least keep their and maintain their employees. We partnered with the SBDC in bringing businesses information on the programs that they were doing. They were the ones out there helping a lot of businesses with loans, as well as the financial institutions, the BIA. So, without those collaborations that we, have strong relationships with, a lot of this probably wouldn't have been able to get done as easily. And I think you had updated the ribbon cuttings, yep. I think that last ribbon cutting we had right when the pandemic was just being announced was Stonewall Kitchen. And I remember that very well, Alan. Thank you. Because I think we were all just kind of looking at each other a little panicked. Like, okay, do you have it? But anyway, we ended up doing, obviously, ribbon cuttings a little bit differently, and only had a few that year. But again, because of some great collaboration between the chamber, the city, the state, the feds, I had received a call from someone at Lidl saying that they were looking to see if they could get federal funds to be able to expand and produce masks. So I had gone to, I think, Jen Marsh over in Economic Development, to Blaine and to the mayor, and then they got in touch with some of the state economic affairs office, and I believe the mayor got in touch with the federal legislators, and we, as you can see, there was the groundbreaking to do that expansion. So that ended up working out very nicely. And our young professionals didn't meet much, but they did have one meeting where they had a mixer, and they actually had one of the restaurants show them how to make a couple drinks, which everybody needed at that point. So going on to 2021, things were a little bit better. Businesses were opening back up, but the Small Business Development Center had some programs on the Business Resiliency Academy that they were doing, and we were promoting that to our members. We did a work share webinar with New Hampshire Employment Security so that businesses could receive information on how that worked. They Choose Rochester, New Hampshire podcast, as I mentioned earlier. There was a mental health awareness recovery summit. We had our State of the State remotely, and an offshore wind program. Our business after hours, again, were partly remote. And then by the fall, we started having some in-person business after hours. One at Mitchell Hill, and we had a very successful one over at RPAC that First Seacoast Bank had sponsored. Our ribbon cuttings started to become a little bit more frequent again, and we tried to conduct those as safely as we could. Our chamber raffle ended up being live again, and we were able to put that event on safely and make some good money. And we had our Operation Thank You again, where volunteers were able to go out to members and visit them again and thank them for their support. Our banquet was held in person again, as well as our golf tournament. And our holiday events, we were able to invite people to attend again and put on a nice show at the tree lighting, as well as have our parade, which was a comic book Christmas. And that was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I couldn't be there, but pandemic hit. And then our community information center had opened, and people were able to come in, although we did ask everyone to mask if they came into the office. I know Tanya produced a new dining guide. And then, but for membership by the end of the year, looking at 2020 and 2021, obviously we lost members due to closings and financial constraints. We were able to maintain in 2020 about a 92% retention rate. We did carry over some people that were actually closed and not able to open, which the board had voted to do. And in 2021, we brought back some of those, but we did lose some as well. So one of the things that the executive board had asked me to do was to put together a membership recruitment and retention strategy, which I had put together for them. Of course, the next thing they said was, okay, implement it. So now trying to find help was a little bit difficult, but really the one thing that came out of that, because up to that point we were working with a staff size of 2.5. After looking at those plans and seeing all the work that really needed to be done for us to stay on top of everything the city's bringing in, we really need a full-time person in there. So the task was now to find someone, which has been difficult, but I'm happy to say that as in another couple weeks, we will have a new staff person full-time, which will really take a lot of pressure off Tanya and I, so we are very much looking forward to that. So 2022, we have Janet Oliver that's going to be leading the board, and she'll be talking to us shortly as well about all of that, and introducing the new board. So other than that, a couple things I just want to briefly say. Take advantage of your membership when you can. It's there for you as a tool to use. Not every benefit that we provide, may be of interest, but for the, take a look at those that are. Attend a Chamber 101. I guarantee you'll find things that you didn't know the Chamber offered if you attend one of those. And Tanya does those every month on a schedule, but she'll also do those by appointment as well. So when you can, attend events. There's always new faces where you can make new business contacts. Submit your news regularly. We have free services to get that news out there for you. Sponsor activities when you can. Join a committee or volunteer at an event. You get to meet a lot more people. And otherwise, I just want to say thank you for your support over the last 2 years. It's definitely been challenging for all of you. I'm so glad to see all of you here today, and so many that have survived, through the pandemic. Keep it going. We appreciate everything you do, and we want to, work with you to see you succeed. Our social media pages are up there. When you have a chance, follow us, like us, share information you see come out from the Chamber that other businesses are doing too. The best we can do is, support each other. So that's all I got. I'm done. Okay, next. And this is, I'll warn everybody now, I'm bringing Alan back up here. And we never know what Alan's going to say. So, Alan, I have something for you too from Tanya and I. So this is from Tanya and I, and we just want to say thank you for always keeping in touch, always helping us. getting us through the pandemic the past 2 years. Your humor is always wonderful. Mrs. J does my heart good every time I see.
It's not a tie gift certificate.
No, have some cold ones on us, Alan. So I think all of you know Alan Johnson, who is the Senior Account Executive for Breezeline, which was formerly Atlantic Broadband. Prior experience, Alan worked 15 years with Sprint Communications, Circuit City Stores Management, independent insurance agency owner, award-winning sales leader at all levels, and he is a former president of the Rochester Rotary Club, now the Chamber of Commerce, the regional advisory board member for Seacoast United Way, and his motto, if you guys aren't friends with Alan on Facebook, get on there because you're missing something. Alan lives to serve, and I'll leave it at that.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. Thank you very much. I woke up this morning to a number of text messages from Laura, from Tanya, from people I didn't even know, all saying the same thing: stick to the script. But I did get one from Ann Brown. I'm looking forward to this. I brought along a little book to help me today. It's called Things I Want to Say at a Meeting, But I Can't. I do also want to say, just for pointing out, I do have raffle tickets available. If anybody hasn't had an opportunity to purchase one, I would be glad to assist you. But on to my actual prepared remarks, if you will. Laura sent me a detailed script. And the first section is personal remarks on how you benefited from being the chair. I noted this space intentionally left blank. And to be honest with you, it's been an honor and a great privilege to serve the community in the chamber. I've had a wonderful time. At times it was hectic. It was like when the pandemic started to ease up a little bit. I don't know if it's really eased up or we've eased up, but whatever the case is, and we started having events. All at once, my business started to take off as well. And I don't know who I talked to more, Laura or my boss. But it was, like I said, it's a very worthwhile endeavor, and I encourage all of you to take the opportunity to serve in the chamber at some level, whether it's a committee, ambassador, whatever the case is. You only get out what you put in, and I truly believe that. I've met some wonderful people, made some lifelong friendships. I've made some lifelong enemies, but no, really, it's been a very positive experience, and I really need to thank the full board who supported me, the volunteers at different events, and the staff of the chamber. They've been wonderful to work with, and I will say this: when you're the chairman of the chairperson of the board, I learned this after the fact, you are de facto a member of every committee that the chamber has. So you learn a lot, but it's a great experience, and I encourage all of you to try and be involved at some level. One thing I will put on my resume going forward is that I am the past chairman, and it opens doors. I mean, it really does. It took me about a year to figure out how to use my position to help me with business, but once I got that realization, I mean, it's a real door opener to say, hey, I'm with the chamber. I'd like to talk to you. You don't have to be an officer either. You just have to be a member. Hey, listen, I'm calling you about your membership, about our membership. I'd like to hear your feedback on what you think we can do better in the community. There's a lot of great things, a lot of great people out there, and there's a lot of people that don't know what we do. So we need to be better salespeople and tell people what we can do for them. All right, enough about that, because I want to get on to Janet shortly, but if I screw this up, Laura, you'll have to straighten me out. I'd like to thank the retiring directors. Am I skipping the ones that aren't here? Okay, all right. Rod Jablonski, not here, but he did a great job serving from 2018 to 2020. And Rod's a great guy. Michelle Landry from Frisbee Memorial Hospital was 2015 to 2020. And of course, it goes without saying, my predecessor, Ann Brown, Daystar, your technology partner, she was my mentor, the one that set the bar high, because she really made a great speech 2 years ago that I had to follow. And so I'm excited to, well, I also got to fire her too. I guess I should mention that. When her term expired, I said, we're full. But, so anyway, Ann, we have a plaque up here for you somewhere. Yes, I found it. Come on up, man. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, we have Steve Cates from Waste Management, 2016 to 2021. Steve could not be here today. I don't think he could be here today. David Gutierrez, retired from Spalding Composites, served 2020 and 2021. I was glad that we stopped in-person meetings when I found out that he came back from Wuhan in January of 2020. But David's a great guy, and Heather Statura from Lilac City Grill, 2020 to 2021. And we also have here today my good friend Kelly Wilson Rogers, licensed massage therapist, 2019 to 2021. And we have a plaque suitable for framing for you too, Kelly. People don't know that Kelly is our president. So nobody gets a free lunch. You have to pay Kelly. Good?
Thank you.
Yes. Oh, wait, you should have got my logo out there. Picture. All right, let's see. And now, I'm not double speaking. I'm telling what's happening. We're going to recognize the top ambassador for 2020 and 2021, my good friend Charlotte Rollins from First Seacoast Bank. I don't know if I should take these out of the package or leave them in. The green one is 2020. The black one is 2021. And they are both yours. All right, thank you. Thanks so much for all. That is a wonderful role within the chamber, keeping our folks up to date. You know, I have a couple of spots here to membership remarks, events and fundraisers. Had a lot of fun trying to keep people together during these difficult times. I'm very happy with, don't tell Laura because her review's coming up, but very happy with performance of the membership and the fundraising. And I'll just leave it at that. There's a space that says other. That's probably scary, but I'm just gonna go past that. Where'd my book go? So we'll go past the other. So I want to thank Breeze Line / Atlantic Broadband for supporting my chambership during the past 2 years. They gave me the time to be involved and recognize the value of involvement. I also want to say thank you to my wife for supporting my 2-year term as chair. She actually came out to, she comes to 2 meetings a year and can't seem to, what's the way I want to put this? Yes. Let's just say it this way. I get to buy new handbags each time there's an event that she's going to. Yeah. And finally, thank you to the chamber staff for the support and guidance that wouldn't be possible without the help and whatnot to Laura and time you give to me. And the membership for your support. And I really wish Jenna Oliver, who would be my successor, the best of luck, and hopefully for your success, you can do in 1 year what I did in 2. Laura sent me an introduction for Janet. I told her I need to punch it up a little bit. not many people knew of Janet's love for spelunking and skydiving, but I just wanted to get that out there early. Seriously though, I'm delighted to introduce our chair of the board for 2022, Janet Oliver. Janet has been living and working in the Seacoast area since 1982. Janet is a senior new business representative for Unitil Natural Gas, where she's worked for over 20 years. Prior to that, Janet was employed at Waste Management for 10 years during the 90s. That's where she was provided with her introduction to Greater Rochester Chamber of Commerce. As they served the Rochester area, she was asked to join the Chamber of Commerce, where she was more than willing to become involved, and we are thankful that she chose our chamber. Since that time, Janet joined numerous committees, maybe more to come. The Holiday Parade Committee, the Community Expo, the Job Fair Committee, the Leadership Greater Rochester Committee, and has been voluntold to take part in other events as well. Janet stated she loves the way people are willing to roll up their shirt sleeves and go to work. It builds a great sense of community. In her spare time, Janet and her husband attempt to tame their 15 acres in Barrington. Janet's husband loves old machinery, so they would spend lots of time wondering why the equipment doesn't work. Their days start and end by feeding their 3 horses, 2 cats, and 1 dog. I have to read this very carefully because I screwed up. Janet competes with one of the horses in a sport called combined driving. I thought it said combined diving the first time I read it. But just to let you know, she wins no money but spends lots of time and money learning how to do it. Please welcome our 2022 Chair of the Board, Janet Oliver. Before she gets here, I still have tickets.
I'm not sure that I can quite follow with Alan's sense of humor, but we'll give it a shot. Alan, I do need you to return. I had a motive there. On behalf of the Board of Directors and staff of the Chamber, I'd like to extend our appreciation for your service as Chairman of the Board throughout 2020 and 2021. Alan's passion for the Chamber, along with his unique sense of humor, helped us through unexpected and challenging times. Thank you also to Breezeline for supporting Alan in his role as Chairman of the Board throughout both of these years. Alan, and thanks for your leadership and dedication to the Greater Rochester Chamber of Commerce, we'd like to present you with this plaque, which I have to look for. Oh, Laura said it would be presented to Alan Johnson with sincere appreciation for his service as Chair of the Board at the Greater Rochester Chamber of Commerce. Thank you, Alan.
Thank you so much.
You want to take it up?
Yeah, no, the hammer is secure, so Mrs. J can't use it on me.
I'm excited to be with you here today as the city of Rochester is poised to grow. I love the renovations and building that are taking place downtown. It brings me pleasure to watch it flourish. We are seeing growth and improvements in other areas as well. The business park is bringing in new industry. The Ridge plans to build residential units, and there are numerous other residential projects happening and in the planning stages. I'm also excited that the Chamber is poised to grow. During the pandemic, membership growth was flat. This year, membership numbers are increasing. The goal of the Chamber is to strengthen our membership base as we come out of the pandemic. To better service the existing and new members, the Chamber will be increasing its staff. During the pandemic, the Chamber put building improvements on hold. The plan is to proceed with those this year. Other planned improvements include a technology review so that members can be served more efficiently. The Chamber plans to continue a hybrid approach to allow members to attend meetings and be engaged both remotely and in person. Another goal for the year is to utilize available resources on state legislative bills to provide information to members. We are currently speaking with Citizens Count. We value the input of our members. If you have improvement suggestions, please let the Chamber staff or a board member know. We should all congratulate ourselves for pulling through the last 2 years of uncertainty and obstacles. I respect and admire our members. It was truly an unprecedented period in our history. So many businesses were able to pivot, think quickly on their feet, and use their creativity to build solutions to not only stay in business, but implement strategies that will improve their performance in the future. It was a remarkable feat. I admire the time and energy that our members have given to the Greater Rochester Chamber of Commerce. We appreciate all of you. Thank you to all of our members. I would also like to thank the past chairman for their service to our Greater Rochester Chamber of Commerce. Could we all take a moment to thank and recognize those of us here today who have served? Ann Brown from Daystar, Bill Cormier from Jorge Cormier and Associates, Alan Johnson from Breezeline. Thank you to Thank you to the Chamber staff, Laura and Tanya, for providing regular updates on programs to assist our members during the pandemic. You provided valuable guidance. Now that we have returned to something closer to what we might consider normal, we have the opportunity to review old successful practices and implement the new successful strategies for what I hope will be an economic surge forward. I hope that the Greater Rochester Chamber of Commerce will be part of your strategy for future growth. The best way to make that happen is to become involved. Join a committee, attend a business after hours, patronize fellow chamber members. I would be remiss if I did not thank my employer, Unitil, for allowing me the time to serve the chamber as chairman of the board of directors. Unitil is also going through a bit of a transformation as we come out of the pandemic and learning new ways to engage with customers and handle the ongoing work of providing reliable natural gas service to them. Lastly, let us thank the group of people that I'm fortunate to work alongside on the board of directors. We are passionate about making the chamber all that it can be to our members. Let me introduce the 2022 board of directors to you. Chair-elect Harry Landry from Cogebi. Vice Chair membership, Mark Zoller, Keller Williams Coastal Realty. Vice Chair, Governmental Affairs, Paul Gatehouse, Independence Financial Advisors. Vice Chair, Events and Fundraisers, Dave Richard, DF Richard Energy. Treasurer, Charlotte Rollins, First Seacoast Bank. Immediate past Chair, Alan Johnson from Breezeline. Mandy Barstow, Studio 109, Dance, Voice, and Drama. Amy Brown, Yankee Electric. Lane Cox, City of Rochester. Brian Dickey, Eversource. Mark Farrell, Lars Heating Systems. Dan Jalbert, Comcast Business. Lauren Jur, Spalding High School. Tim Jones, Frisbee. Kevin Miller, Profile Bank. Tatiana Simon, Northeast Credit Union. Dave Stevens, Jorge Cormier and Associates. Rob Swerin, Spalding Composites, and Caitlin Turgeon, H-Bill Insurance. Thank you to all of our board members for their time and expertise to maintain and improve the work of the Chamber in serving its members. What's next, Laura?
Thank you, Janet. And I think next we have some raffle prizes. So I am going to call up my cohort, Tanya Hervey, to conduct the raffle prize drawing.
Okay, the first item we have is a website enhanced listing that's $100 value in Blaine Cox, City of Rochester. Next, we have a chamber promotional e-blast That goes to Briley Collins, Rose Talent Consulting. Okay, and last we have an 8th-page directory ad, and that goes to Mandy Barstow, Studio 109. Okay, we'll hold it for her. All right, that's all I got. Close it up? Okay, we're done. Thank you all for coming.